Okay, I'm just digging around this hole first. Just the thing, I've got a load of horses next to me. I'll show you in a second, and I know they're gonna play games with me. So okay, there's my plug. I've got a few friends with me today. Here they are. But I've got to be careful, they don't want to try and go for ET. The camera, me. Come on! Come on! Come on! Come on! Come on! Hop! 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 Come on, let me give my feel. Come on! Hop! 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 I can see I'm going a good day today. There seems to be more here. Last week there seems to be a few, but today there's been more. Obviously, had a lot of rain last 2 days, so I don't think they've had much company. And unfortunately, because I'm carrying a pot, obviously they think it's food. So, hop, hop, come on, hop. There's no food, look. There's no food. You can't eat it. There's no food. There's no food. No, you can't eat that. Alright, come on, off we go then. There's no food, I've got no food. I've got no food, okay, come on. The thing about horses, what you've got to be careful, they can kick. And people think they just kick back, but they can kick forwards as well, and that's the side. So, you've got to be careful with them. Come on. There you go. There you go. There you go. Okay, go on then, hop, hop, come on. Let me get with my detecting. Come on. I don't want to put my head down there in case he tries to kick me in the face. But yeah, there's a little bit of a standoff between me and the horses at the moment. Hop, 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 hop. Okay, hop, 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 hop. That's it, they've moved away. The young one's like, well, no, I'm not scared of that. Come on, come on, hop here, come on, hop, 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 come on. Come on, there you go. Go on, in you go, come on. Come on. They always think one's missing out. They're all staring at me. What's he doing? What's he doing in our field? This is our field. Right, oh. A very, very small rod I used last week. The other week, a few weeks ago, I'm using the same one as a test piece. The ground's wet today, so we'll see whether we get that target. I can tell you now, digging that deep, that I'm not getting that target. It's not there on that little Roman coin. So I'm going to make that a little bit shallower. And at the moment I've got it in the gold program. Hop, hop, come on, go up. Come on, come on, come on, come on, come on, go, shoot, 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 come on, shoot, 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 shoot. Oh dearie me, that's it, they're leaving me alone now. Took a little while, oh, no, the one's back in. So I'm going to make this a little bit shallower. I forgot to bring the trowel with me, I left it in the car. But if we use the pinpointer, we can use that as a depth gauge, the top there, so you can see how half the pinpoints. And next time I'll bring the gauge with me and we can do it again. But in my wisdom, I didn't bring my fines pouch because I'm not detecting stuff. I'm just checking a few other things out for the myths and facts. Right, let's see if we can turn that one off. Lovely. Now, Right, we've got that coin now. I'm about 54 on the screen there. Okay, and I can tell you now that's just about at the detection depth. So that was Goldfield, and we already know from the previous video that Goldfield works as a base program, as a preset program. And I hear everyone say general. So, hope you can see that on there. We're in the Goldfield program. What I'm going to do now, I'm going to change that to, we're going to do the general program, because I never did the general program last time. And as a result, general. Let's do a noise cancel. Okay, so top right hand button, long press. Because I'm hearing everyone saying general program, and I don't know, I'm not feeling it with a general, but hey ho, let's try it. It's not a program I've used. I've tried it, didn't like it, kept away from it. Well, I have to admit that that's getting it just. I'm getting a readout of 53 to 56. So, as I said, it's not a program I've actually used, but it is getting it as a base program, which is obviously good for you guys to know. Sensitivity, program 2. We'll go through the different presets and we'll let you listen to them. And that preset has got it as well. In fact, the sensitive 2 even louder. The only thing different today is the amount of water in the ground, because last time I came out it was a lot drier. Today's a lot wet. So I can only assume that because of the wet conditions, it's obviously helped me to amplify that signal. I'm going to stamp it down a little bit. And it's still there. Sensitive full tones. Yep. And that's getting it as well, around the 50s, 55. Deus fast. Very faint, but it is just getting it. Park. And again, Park's getting it. So the conditions today, as I said, we've had 2 days of just rain non-stop. The ground's soaking wet. There's water laying on the field just down here. It's just full of it. I'll come up onto the higher ground just to get a dry spot, but I'll show you in the camera minute. The water there is still waterlogged down there on this well drained soil. Deep HC, because remember the other week it wasn't picking it up. So again, that's picking it up. It's fluctuating between 41 and 57, so it's fluctuating on the target. And the conditions have changed. Deus mono. And that's getting it, it's fluctuating on the signal. Goldfield, we've tried that already. Relic. Uh, 0, 1, 52, 53. We've got 2 horses here kicking each other, having a bit of a fight. A really big fight. They're kicking each other really hard. We don't want to go diving. Beach. I wonder what the beach is like on the field. I've never tried it. Even the beach is getting it. And the horses didn't like that beach setting. Beach sensitivity. What I haven't done this week, if you notice, I'm not these two horses are still fighting. I've not done noise cancel. I'm just going through the programs, hitting it. Right, Deus fast program, 40 kilowatts, kilohertz should I say, and that's noise cancel that. That's a little custom program I made. Let's see how that works. Yeah, that's getting it. Nice sweet sound there, 50s. And then as pulled away, dropped down to 44. Another little custom program, sensitive full tones that I done. That's number 3. I made 2 or 3 different platforms for this. Wow. So that's my custom program. The only dilemma with that one, .54, 55. So that program, it is hitting anything that's in the ground. But what I'd say about that one is, let's see if we can play with this one. If we can make any changes. So we'll go menu. It's minus 6.4, so there's no discrim in there whatsoever. Whereas last one, I put discrimination in there. Expert 3 tones, same as usual. That was the top left hand button I pressed. We've got the tone breaks and the hertz there, 202, 616 and 891. The other time was about 910 I think. So I'm still in that figure. Okay, come back out of that. Bottle cap 0, notch 23, 24, kept that the same. You can notch it however you wish to. Silencer 1. Back out of there. 99 sensitivity, 40 kilohertz. Iron volume 7. Let's take that off for a second. Reactivity 2. Audio response 6. Let's quiet that machine down. See, that's quieting that down. That little noise that was before, it's quieting that right down. Okay, let's try that. So now, when we're going over this ground, you can hear the ground in the sound noises, and then $57.58. But with this program, you do need to slow down a little bit. However, the subtle changes we made obviously affects the machine. And the surprising thing today was that because of all the water we've had, how it's changed the target in the ground. And a lot of people don't realise that. When it's dry, very, very dry, you tend to lose the texting depth. That's what I find. And the base programs 2 weeks ago in dry conditions, the base programs didn't hit it, not at all. Now the ground is wet, which is why I've come out today. Just when people say, oh, it does hit it, I wanted to try and show that ground conditions play a really important part on how you detect and what programs can be used and what programs can't be used. And in this case, as you can clearly see, that from 2 weeks ago the video until this week there's difference. But what we haven't done was, I said, we didn't ground balance them. So what I'm going to do now, not ground balance, sorry, noise cancel. I'm going to go back to the general program. We're going to go up 1, 2, 4. There's fast. Now we're going to do a noise cancel, just to see if that makes any difference to the machine and whether it hits a target or not. Wow. It's getting it just, but it is really struggling. So, okay, let's go park. Let's listen to it first. So again, we're getting that just. Let's do a noise cancel. Bottom, oh sorry, top right hand button. It's what happens when you try and do a video, talk at the same time and play the controls. It's called multitasking. So the noise cancel, I didn't see any difference at all, to be fair. Just so that people who are new to the machine understand, I think the noise cancel you'll find is when you've got things interfering. Like behind me, I've got some wires up there, telephone wires, and but it's not interfering with the machine. So what I wanted to show today really is with the Deus I and the Deus II. On that Roman coin, that small Roman bronze coin, with the soil conditions soaking wet, I'll give you an idea. I'm just going to turn the camera around a little bit. We're on ridge and furrow here. Yeah, this is ridge and furrow, so it goes up. So you can just see here, it's just loads of water. So the ground is saturated. So remember that when you're detecting and the ground conditions are wet, hence the reasons why you tend to find more in the wet conditions than you do the dry conditions. So people are going out now in the wet conditions. You can see people are putting out loads of different, I've been following on the different channels on the internet, gold coins, this, it's flying out at the moment. And you tend to find, even though summertime more people are out detecting, not as many finds come out, and that can be just for the fact that a very, very dry summer, ground's rock hard, there's more difficult conditions for the machine to read the target, and obviously to dig the target out if they do get a target. So what I want to do today, I'm going to put that one machine to one side, and today my point is, it's my little boy's machine that I gave him. It was my machine originally. Loved this machine, absolutely loved it. And then what I've done with this, because the buttons are hard to press, we put these little, they come from kitchen doors, stoppers, stick them on the buttons to make it easier to press. So this one is number 18, Nicholas's program. Because I didn't want digging loads of iron and stuff and rubbish, I set it up for him so that he could just try and find the better targets. Now I don't know what it's going to be like on this coin, I haven't tested it, but we're going to do it now. Wow. So that small Roman coin on the Deus I, banging it out, no problem. If I lift it off, so that's with, so this the Deus I, I've always said that I don't think there's a lot of difference between the depth between the two machines. I think maybe this one's got the slight advantage, but it's hitting that target. So the Deus I is still hitting the same target as the Deus II, and this has got a lot of descrimming in it. So what I'm going to do now is, and there's no nails counts on this, 17 HD, that's another preset program that I put in there. Loud and clear. So now 16 BC. So these are based on the deep program on the Deus I, and that's the XY screen. XY screen was a line going through the middle there. And that's a little dot in the middle on that program. So now there's Deus. This is by Tim's program. I'm going to try and get to the presets on this. If I go to presets, okay, here we go. Okay, basic program on the Deus I. And it's getting it. GM power on the basic program. I had to have the coil touching the grass, but it's getting it. And look, there's no falsing, not like the Deus II. When you try and do it, you touch the coil to the ground and you get that extra noise coming off of it. Deus Fast, program 3. Okay, I'm getting that as well. I'm just going to see if I can up the volume on this. Menu. And also, I've got the sensitivity down at 90. You remember the Deus II? Most of the sensitivity is high. It's 95 upwards. So, I'm going to put it on 96. We'll get a listen to that. I have to admit, Deus Fast is getting it, but only just. Pitch. Sensitivity 90, let's pick that up a little bit. Let's take it to 96. Go down. It's on 14 kilohertz as well. Yeah, we're using a H. Okay, let's listen to 14 kilohertz. It's getting it. But on the HF coil, I like to ramp that up. Not to 58. But we'll do it in a second. Okay, so I've gone to 28. I'm going expert, and I'm going to take that up to cross the bar coming across up to 31, 373. Okay, we'll go back again. So I like to use 31 kilohertz. There you go. 82 on the button. So let's see, so that's on pitch mode. So let's go next program. 5G max, yeah? So we'll give that one. Just getting that one. So now what we're going to do is we're going to whack that up. I'm going to go settings again. 14 kilohertz. So this time I'm going to take it to 54 kilohertz. Yeah. Still getting the target. I said, personally speaking, I like to use the 31 on that one, 31.3 back. So the Deus I, the Deus II, there's no difference in depth. At the moment, 31.3, iron volume 0, reactivity 1, order response 4. I suppose really on this machine we could up that to 6. No notching, discrimination 6.1. I'm going to drop that out. I'm going to take it to 3.3 just to see what happens. There's no noise cancel on this machine. Wow. Brilliant, absolutely brilliant. So let's come back out of there. Let's go to another program. I hope I've got this all on the tape there. Another program there. Deep, wet beach, dry sand, hot program. Yeah, they said the hot was really good, wasn't it? That was on the next one, was hot. Let's see. They called that the squeaky program. I'll tell you something, I wouldn't be digging that one, that's for sure. Scope sensitivity to 94, back. Okay, didn't really like that hot program on that. What else have we got? Goldfield. Let's try the Goldfield program, shall we? They say it's a ground bounce with the Goldfield. Let's have a look. I have to admit, the Goldfield on this one is not as good as the one on the Deus II. I'm going to ground balance it and see what happens. So I go to ground balance, manual, hold the pinpointer button and clean bit of ground, pump the coil. Okay. So double check that. 79. We're going to go down. Sorry. We'll go down, pumping the coil. It went back up to manual. I hit the button by mistake. Okay, it's a little while since I've used the machine, so what we're going to do here now, let me go on the screen and we'll show you here. So come back out of here, top right hand button, not like the Deus II. Deus II does a noise cancel. Push that, you've got manual and then you've got pumping. And this one with Deus II, you just push the pinpoint button. This one here, you've got to push the start button, the top left hand button. So we start on. There we go, 78. So this field is 78. We're gonna go back to the main screen, Goldfield. It's got it, and I'm now in tune with the Deus II tones. So this one here, I'm not used to it. So what I'm going to see if I can options. Let's see what we've got in here. If there's anything I can play with the long programs, calls, pinpointers, configuration. No, there's nothing in there. Frequency. Oh, frequency, that's interesting. 14.4 again. Let's change that. 31, that's my favourite. Expert. So 31, 373, back, reactivity 2, this, threshold 0, audio response 2, sensitivity 95, frequency, we've just done that, 31.3. I'm not sure we can change anything else on that I want, apart from on certain settings here, you have not on the HF calls, but on the old black calls, a TX power 1, 2 and 3. Okay, that's a reading of 87, and depending how I catch the coin, the small coin, 95. So again, the gold program there, that tone there, I'm not used to that tone now, I'm used to the Deus II tones, that sweet sound. So this one I'm out of tune, it's my little boy's one that I give him to use. But it means it's still doing what my machine's doing. And on his program I had discrimination, so it wasn't hitting the target. What else we got? We've got that one, you can hear us chatting away. 97, 31 kilohertz, iron volume 0, reactivity 2.5, audio response 5, I'm going to turn it down a bit. Notch 0, discrimination flat out, it's minus 6.4. I've got it in full tones. Now what will be interesting in this one, I'm going to listen to the full tones and we're going to change it to a 3 tone. So that's got it, no problem. So now we're going to go down here, pitch. People like pitch. 3 tone, 202. I'll drop that down one. That one is 518, and that one now I'm going to up that a little bit. Seven. Eight, 9, 1. Oops. 9, 10. Okay. Right, we'll give that a go on the target. Now, that's getting the target, but there is no readout. It's just double lines. So on the Deus I, whereas the Deus II will give you a number readout, so it's improved in that sense. On this particular program, I'm not getting a readout, so there is a slight improvement there. Not much, but still a slight improvement. And when I go out with my friend who's bought one of these, even though we get the same targets, he goes, "Can you just check that for me just to make sure?" And I check it, and it goes, "Yeah, dig it, don't dig it. You know, if in doubt, dig it out." But it's just nice coming out in the afternoon. This was a tone break program that at the time was being battered around the internet. Again, I don't know how good it is because I never use it. I just put it in there just to check it against the programs I was using. And that's got an iron buzz. So that tone break program that we're using on the Deus I can tell you now I wouldn't be using that one. A new one, probably something I've made up. So as you can quite clearly see, that picked it up, no problem, that target. But I was using the XY screen on that one. Okay, so that one, again, that's based on the deep program. If I put the coil towards the ground, I've got 76. As I lift up, and you can see I'm still quite a bit off that floor. I don't know how much I can show you. I'm off the ground there. I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to take my nice warm gloves off. Put them up there. So I'm just getting that. What's going to be interesting, will I give you the Deus II? And there's no, with the Deus I, there was no printout. There was no display. And I can tell you now, I'm touching that glove. I'm touching that glove like I did with the Deus I, and the Deus II is not touching it. That was on the Deep HC program. So the Deep HC was not touching that target. Whereas with the Deus I, on the Deep program on that one, and okay, that's been slightly modified, but that was hitting that target, which you could all hear. So now what we're going to do is, I'm going to come out of there. We know the Goldfield works 100%, so what we're going to do is go noise cancel on that. Lovely. Okay. So with the gold program, I am getting numbers, but it'd be 00, 03, 50. It's fluctuating as it detects depth, but the gold program's hitting it. So when people are saying, "Oh, the Deus II is so much deeper than the Deus I," and blah blah blah, all I know is when I've done my tests, it hasn't been the case. And I said today is a different day because the ground is soaking wet. It really is wet conditions. So yeah, it's a difficult one to say for that reason. It's definitely different because of the moisture in the ground, soaking wet, and it's amplifying the targets. But it doesn't matter. It's like understanding the machines and what they do in the different weather conditions. For the Deus I now, I mean, I've been seeing people selling them for 350 quid, 400 pounds, and it's doing just the same as the Deus II. So if you can get yourself a bargain, you know, at that price, take it. That's cheap. One of these brand new is £1,400, and yet you can buy a second-hand Deus I that's doing just what this is doing for a fraction of the price. What's the advantage on the Deus II compared to the Deus I? You switch it on and the headphone comes on automatically. You switch it off and the headphones go off. I mean, it's brilliant. I love it. They've improved the sound quality 100%. You know, going back to the Deus I and then coming to this one, and then going back to that Deus I, which I haven't used for probably a year and a half, felt very weird, very weird. So the sound quality is improved on this. Yes, it's multi-frequency machine. So, all right, we're using it on the bronze Roman at the moment. We've not tried it on any other targets, and that's key also. Obviously, it's waterproof now, so people want to go into rivers and streams. That has the advantage now. So it has that as an extra feature. So, yeah, for those people that want all those other extra bits, is it worth a buy? Of course it is. You know, it's a good bit of kit, and I'm going to bring this out next. I'm going to take out, when I get a chance, to bring out the Knox 800 out, and put them together just on the base programs. I'm not sure what the soil conditions can go, but in the past when I've put them side by side, and I've done this, there hasn't been much difference, to be fair. They're about the same. The only thing I would say is that the sound quality on the Deus II is a lot better, and the lightweight, it's balanced beautifully. It really is. Whereas the Knox, don't get me wrong, it's a lovely machine. I loved it. I love it. But after a number of hours detecting, it affects the wrist and it affects the elbow. But other than that, I can't knock the machine. It's a superb bit of kit. Okay, let's go up to okay, sensitive 3 tones. It was one that I played around with. I was playing around with it the other day because I like to tweak and mess around a little bit. Let's do a noise cancel. After 2 days of rain, it was nice to get out. They reckon we've got rain coming today as well, and tomorrow we're on a dig. We're on a Roman site, heavy mineralised ground. As soon as you put the pinpoint in the ground or touch the ground, it goes off. So it's going to be really tricky conditions, but I can tell you now, always Roman coins come off of there, always. So that's in the 50s. So there's just, people will go by numbers in the wet conditions. Yeah, it's working fine, and the Deus I hits the target, but the numbers display might not be there. So that's with that extra. Those gloves are actually sitting up a little bit higher, so I'll give you an idea. There's me touching the gloves there, and that's me touching the ground. Okay, so if I just go, so technically speaking, you're looking about that much more extra depth. So I'm on top of the gloves. So yeah, so we just put a silver coin in there, and we'll see if we'll go with a silver coin. So that'd be different. We did that test last week, and we knew on the silver coin we got a lot more depth. So what I want to do, got to try and find this hole now. So there was the coin, there's the depth, going there to the top. So you're looking up to the button on the pinpointer probe. Now, not being, that is a very, 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 very tiny Roman coin. And why? If you put big coins, yeah, the machine's going to go really deep on a big coin. But when you're looking at your, if you're looking for the small Saxon coins and stuff, you need to make sure that you can pick up tiny little coins like this. If you can hit that, and we're hitting that at quite a big depth to be fair, on that probe there, and luckily for me, I don't exaggerate, you're looking at what, 1 inch, 2, 3 inches, 4 inches. I'm going to say probably 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.5 inches easily on a very, very tiny Roman coin. And the Deus I and the Deus II are both hitting it. Oh, this is something I found years ago. A little hawk whistle. I found that about 15 years ago with I think it was, can't remember what machine I found it with, to be fair. Little hawk whistle. Little Roman brooch test piece. Broken. Croter bell. Thimble. And that's on my video when I found that. That's an interesting target. You'll be surprised about that. How that can come in and how the machine can miss that. They can, in the dry conditions, they are really tricky to read. Okay, we're going back to that cut silver again, and this time I'm going to dig a bit more out. So that's nearly to the top of the pinpointer off the ground. We're going to lay that in the bottom. I'm trying to get it flat rather than on edge. Let's make sure we can get it first. Okay, sweet. Right, on that target there now, you could hear that I'm getting that, but I have to have the coil flat to the ground. If not, I'm not going to get it. So that one there, $31. If I bring that up higher, that would change. But that's 31 as a display. I'll see if I can show you on that one, if I can do it at the angle. Try and wiggle that. And at that angle, there you go. Okay, 31. The question is now, will the Deus I get it on the deep program? So that program was the H3 full sensitivity on the Deus II. This is on the deep program on the Deus I. All day long. I'm coming off the ground a little bit now. I'm going to tell you now, this, in today's conditions, this machine, even though there's no display readout, is actually hitting that target better than the Deus II. Let's try the gold program. So we'll go in there. Let's go back to general on the hammered silver coin. Let's do a noise cancel. Come out of there. Gloves and fat fingers. Noise cancel. Nothing. Nothing at all. So the general program, the preset on the hammered silver coin has missed it. So let's go sensitive full tones, noise cancel. I've done it again. Hold, press and hold. Noise cancel. So that's interesting on the hammered silver coin, what a difference that makes. Okay, so now we're in the sensitive full tone basic program. And the basic missed it again. On the bronze Roman they hit it, but on the hammered silver missing it. Deus fast. Shall we go through these programs again? Nothing. Deus I. Let's go to the Deus I again. I'm going to have to be honest, it's hitting the target, but I'm getting no readout. But the Deus II on the preset programs is not hitting it at all. This is a custom program on the Deus I, by the way. And if you want to know those settings, I'll give it to you now, okay? So that's the HF deep, it's based on the deep program. The menu there, discrimination, 0.1, expert, 5 tones, back. Okay, sensitivity 96, frequency 31 kilohertz. You guys know I like the 31. Okay, I'm volume 1, reactivity 2, audio response 5, notch 0, and back to there. That's on the Deus I, and it's hitting that target in today's conditions, and they are wet. So the people who've got the Deus I with the round HF coil that are thinking this is only a small 9-inch coil, and thinking, oh, I'll get rid of the machine, it's not that good, I want a new one. They're a great bit of kit, really are. I love mine. Well, I say mine, I gave it to my son. I've lost it, it's his. But he's got this, the HF coil. I give him the black, I let him use this one, but he's got the black coils with it, the original. Okay, so back to the Deus II. We already know that's not there. That's on the fast program. Park. Okay, let's do noise cancel. I've done it again. Fat fingers, press and hold. Okay. I'm going through different programs because I know there's different people in different countries that watch the channel, and all I can do is show you what I'm finding. Nothing at all. Deep HC, okay. This has got to work because it is the deep program. So obviously the preset set, it says deep. So it says on the tin it's deep. So I understand it, it's a deeper program than all the others. Let's check it in wet conditions. Yep. There you go. Preset program deep. It's just done what all the other programs have done. It's missed the target. Deus Mono. That's an interesting one. I'm going to leave it as a preset. All I want to find out is what kilohertz it's in. What we're there? 3 ton. Okay, that's fine. Back. Sensitivity is 9, so I'm going to leave it as a preset. 17. The only thing I'm going to change on that, I'm going to take up to 32. So it's the same as the Deus I, because I'm using 31 kilowatts, 32, yeah? So they're about the same. Everything else is the same, it's just that. Let's try it. Let's do a noise cancel. So what the Deus Mono is a single frequency, it's not a multi-frequency. So the machine, technically speaking, is not doing as much work. We'll see. I'm sort of picking it up, and I've got a few numbers flashing up but not like the Deus I's picking it up. But it just goes that secret frequency is doing better than the base programs. All I've done was change the kilohertz on that. Goldfield. Now, I said it before and I'll say it again, I love Goldfield. I think it's a brilliant program. It is noisy, so you need to get used to it, but let's give it a go. $31. Well, that's 20. Get back in there quick. 31, 32. So the Goldfield is just on its limit, but it's still hitting that very, very small broken hammered coin. And that's the only program, the presets, that hits that target. Okay, relic. Let's go noise cancel. The relic's missing it as well. Let's go back to my program again. Let's do a noise cancel, and let's see whether my custom program gets it. I don't know. You've been watching like I've been watching or playing, so. 32, sometimes jumps up to 40 and 50, but That's getting it. That's getting it. So what I want to know now is my custom program got it. What about the preset? Does that get it? Sensitive full tones. That's what I based the program on. And then we're going to play with the general, see if I can tweak that up a little bit. Okay, here we go. And answer to your question is no. So we know the program, when I customize it, we get it, but if I don't, we miss it. So let's go general. Let's see what we can change in the general. It's got 10 discrimination. It's a two-tone program. I'm not going to change that. I want to look in there, 202, 717. I'm going to change that to 901. Back 95. So I could up it. I'm not going to at this point in time. 40 kilohertz. I'm going to leave that. I'm volume 7. I'm going to back that off. Reactivity 2. I might change that to number 1 in a minute. So minus button there to 1.51, but depends what field you're on, and I'll do that later on, just to see if we get any more depth on the coin. But the lower the reactivity, the slower you got to swing. Auto response 4, put it down to 3. Okay. Noise cancel. So now I've done a few changes in there. Let's see if we get that target. Wow. Wow. So the general program, even though I changed it to what I'd normally use my own, it's still not getting it. Still not there. Alright, let's max it out on the sensitivity, because I always have it maxed out on my other programs. Let's do that. Noise cancel. Let's see whether that makes a difference or not. I've got a number sometimes flashes up, but I'm not getting no audio from that. So we'll go back to the sensitive full tones. That's the base program. What I'm going to do now, I'm going to do a noise cancel, we're going to go over the target, and we're going to play with the settings. So nothing there over that target. So let's have a look. We could change the discrimination. Okay. It's in full tones. Okay, let's change that. Let's go back to the full tones. I've gone full tones. Okay. Plus and minus button. Pitch, 5 tones, 4 tones, 3 tones. Left hand button, expert. Top left button on there. I'm going to scroll that across to the tone middle one there. Left hand button, scroll down, 202. Next one is 518. Let's take that to 571. Left hand button, scroll down, the last tone break. And I like that sweet sound. I love that machine for this. I do, I love it. 901. Okay, back, 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 noise cancel. Right, so all I've done was up the sensitivity and change the tones. Let's see if we get it. I'm getting a readout 3466, but that target's not come through yet. Okay, so what else can we change? We could knock the discrimination back. I'm going to leave it there for a moment. 90. Okay. I've got a little bit of chatter going on, probably like chatter. But we're up the sensitivity now to max. Yes, if that makes a difference. I've got a reading of 90 now. So has that made any difference? Not really. 40 kilohertz, we're on that already. I'm volume 7. Reactivity 3. Let's take it to 1.5. And there you go. Lowering your reactivity will give you more depth. So now, we know we've got more depth there. Let's try another thing now. Okay? I'm not going to go to 1 yet, I'll do that afterwards. Sensitivity, let's back that back down to 93. 40 kilohertz, I'm volume 7. I'm going to take that off for a second. So we took the iron volume out and the sensitivity, we've knocked it down. Let's see if we can still hit that target. $30.32, we're just getting it. So we're still getting it, but remember we've knocked the sensitivity down as well. Let's find something else in here. What else can we have a little play with? Reactivity, let's knock that down to 1. Now with that, I've got a bigger Roman coin here. It might be too big. Oh no, where's that small one going? There it is. If you're swinging fast with the lower reactivity, so that's when you've got an area that you're finding stuff and then you want to grid it, you want to slow it right down, you want to pick every target out there, because if you've got something next to it that could mask that signal, you're going to miss that. Okay. Yeah, check it away in the ground. See, I've lost it. It's not there. Slow it down. Another point, make sure your coil is flat to the ground and it's not stuck up. If you've got it up at the front And if you watch people detect, you'll see it, and they're like this. You're missing the target. Make sure the coil is flat. Okay, so you can see the tweaks we've done, and the biggest main factor in those tweaks was the reactivity. Come on, dare I risk it? 0. We're going to try this one. Not that I've ever detected this way, but we'll give that a go. I've dropped it below 1 before. I was out the other day with the 1 when I found the silver denari, really early one. I think I posted that on the video recently, and I was using, for a change, I changed it and I was using 1, and I was going nice and slow through there, and that came up. See? Nothing. Slow. So the way I detect that I've got a big lump of mound here, if I'm going slow on the field looking for stuff, a bit bumpy here. That's lifting the coil up there. It's coming this way. Yeah, would you detect like that every day? Probably not, but if you're on a field that is productive and you've had 200 people on a rally that have been in front of you and they've gone over it and they've pulled all the targets close to the top, and then you're right, okay, then you go in there with this program, you go really slow, and you're now trying to pick up all those little other targets that have been left behind, and anything that's a little bit deeper than what those guys have been trying to get out, the goodies are yours. And that's the way. You've got the experienced metal detectorists, and that's what they do. You've only got to watch them, the ones that are out there all the time. They'll wait. Where did you find that? You tell them where you found it, and you'll see them gridding that area up and down, trying to rinse it for every last little bit that you might have missed. It's a reality. So, you know, you tell them where you find it, and they're going to go there and look for it. I'm going to do the same. There's no doubt about it. And then, you know, but the difference is, I've been on some digs, and there people have got the machines, and I've got their machine. I said, look, can you hit that target? And they can't hit it, so that they're, you know, they're missing stuff. So then I play with their settings, set it up, and then let them go along. And the people I've helped turn around and said to me afterwards, thanks. We started finding a lot more items. All right, they didn't find any coins, but they were finding more stuff than what they were finding previously. So their finds rate went up. The more you're digging, the more targets you're hitting, the more chances you're going to find those targets that you're looking for. But you've got to dig. You've got to be prepared to dig a lot of rubbish. You know, if you're not prepared to do that, then there's no point in metal detecting. But yeah, to be fair, I use this program when I'm on my own, nice and quiet. I ain't got people buzzing around me. As I said, normally, again, if it's too slow, I'll up the reactivity a little bit. We're going to do that now, actually. Let's up that reactivity a little bit. Reactivity 1.5 back. So the only thing really changed the depth on this, wasn't it? Was that reactivity, and the fact that I used the square tones to amplify that sound, because I have to admit, the audio quality on this is absolutely, dare I say it, it's an American word, awesome. It really is awesome. when they first launched this, I was a bit sceptical because I didn't think there was going to be much difference in depth between the two machines, and I actually stated that before they came out, and I was right. You know, there's not. But as I said, what I do like is the fact you haven't got to turn the headphones on, you've got to turn the machine on. Brilliant idea. I mean, what a go! That for me, that is changing the game. On, go. The quality of the sound. You know, you've listened to music when it's a bit ropey, and then someone's got a decent set of headphones and graphic equalizer. All of a sudden, it sounds wow. And that's what this machine's done. And I said, those people that want to go underwater, I don't personally, but for those who do, it's got that extra string to the bow. And obviously recently, even though I've not seen much about it, I'm trying to find out a little bit more about it from different people who've got one, is the Horde Hunter. The Horde Hunter uses the version on this 2.0. Well, I haven't got the Horde Hunter, so I'm using version 1.1. But that broken hammer is not much bigger than that bronze coin, and it's pinpointed depth. That's deep. So you can imagine when you get a big coin, what that's going to sound like. Whoops, before I knock the camera over. I just want to show I've done all this video and we're on there. Yeah, that's good. So, is there anything I want to change on there? No, not really. I'm quite happy with that. So if you're happy with the program, just a quick one. Options, settings, programs, select, save, select. Okay, and then it's going to give you a number. So that one's now on number 20. So I'm going to select 20. Yeah, and I'm going to call this. What can we call this? Let's have a look. I want to go back a bit on that one. Some numbers. We'll go 3 because it's a sensitive 3 program. And then we'll go U, top right button, U. So that's sensitive 3, U as in YouTube or your program. Go back in there again, select. We're going to check something else in here while we're at it. Pairing, no. Audio, square tones. If you've not got that on, select audio out 9. I'm going to turn that down now because we're finished with the testing on there. I'm going to turn that back down again. Okay. Audio filter, equalizer. Okay. Audio type, PWM, square. So I'm going to turn that to square tones because I like that sound. Okay, so now I've set that to square. So I'm going to go back. Now we're going to listen to that target. Now I've just made 3U and square tones. Now I've got to up the volume because I've turned it right down. You guys won't be able to hear it. Options, audio select, square tones, go down middle button, audio out. That's maxing it out at the moment. I'll turn that back down afterwards, but we're going to go there now. Ready? So, what we're going to do now, just out of curiosity, because I haven't done this before, so I'm going to try it new for us all. Square tones, PWM, high square. Okay. high square. You see how it just brings it up a little bit better so you can hit that target. You've got square and you've got high square. And the PWM, shall we listen to that one? Okay, that's got more like the Deus I sound to it, hasn't it? So let's go back there, high square, back off, in, done. Okay, let's dig that target up and it's the bottom of the hole. So if you look at that, I'm trying to use a flat edge. I say pinpointed depth is from there to that top black bit there on that small hammered coin. Okay, and when I say small, it's in the bag there. Okay, what else should we test? I think we should give that a go because that's big, isn't it? Yeah. An early Iron Age brooch. We'll see what that sounds like in the ground. .31, 32 and just about getting it. So let's try the Deus I. .92, sometimes it'll read it, but now I've got it, 92. .97, 92. So, the machine's getting it no problem, same depth. I want to try something else out on this one. 96, I'm not running it flat out. Frequency 31, I'm volume 1. Reactivity 2. I tell you what, let's drop that down to number 1, shall we? I'm not sure how far this one goes, but we're going to try it 1 just to see if that makes that little bit of difference. And she was no noise cancel on this machine. Boom, 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 change, off you go. And none of the machines I've done a ground balance. Wow. I'm lifting slightly up and I'm still getting it. Okay. So is your decision to make. Both machines, they're great machines, and personally speaking, what I'd like to have done is bring the old HF, the old black coils, the originals, to find out if I can get that target, and then by playing with this machine and this machine only, the TX gain, which is 1, 2 and 3, whether it'd make a difference on that target to bring it up or down. Obviously the higher the TX gain 3, the more power it uses. You can still buy the Deus I, brand new by the way. There's a lot of second-hand ones out there because they all switch to the Manticore, the Nox and the Deus IIs. But I can tell you now, if you could pick up one of these second-hand, they're a great bit of kit. And I'll give you that settings on there if you want it, okay? So that's based on the HF program, Reactivity 1, okay, auto response is 5, notch 0, discrimination 0.1, sensitivity 96, frequency 31 kilohertz, iron volume 1, and we're back there. What I'm going to do there is 5-tone program, back, I just want to check something else on there for you. Iron volume, reactivity 1, expert, silencer 3. I wonder if we played that and we get more depth out of it. Let's try, shall we? So we're at 3. Silencer 1. Take that back up to 0, silencer 0. Silencer 4. So the silencer at 4, it seems to be breaking up a little bit. Go, take that back down to 2. So the silencer 2, that audio sounds a lot better. Back. So you already know everything else is on there. Just in case you've got a Deus I and you want to change it because you want to try and get a little bit more out of your machine. And that's based on the deep program, by the way. Options, programs, select, save, select, replace HF. I'm going to say yes, right, and it's done. I'm going to validate it. I'll just save what's already there because that's the problem I've got there. But there you go. We've got some rain clouds coming over. I'm going to wrap this up. I hope that helps. I'm going to dig the brooch back out before I forget. Has been known I've left things in the ground before. Right, it might be stuck somewhere. The probe, can't see it. There you go. That was just sitting in the sidewall and I couldn't see that. So you look at the size of that and that hammered coin, and yet they're both just about picking it up. And in dry conditions, it's a lot worse. That ground's wet, that ground's moist, very, very wet. But in dry conditions, I can tell you now, you'd struggle to get that. I actually put a video when I dug this one out, and it was nowhere near as deep as that, I can tell you. Wow, been out here an hour and 31 minutes. Okay, I might have to try and shorten that a little bit. Thank you, everyone. Hope you enjoyed these. It's there to help the people who have got the machines. They just switch it on and go, and those people want to understand the machine a little bit more. I'm just going to show you. I don't care how long it takes me. I'm just going to show you exactly what I do. But the proof in the pudding is lowering the reactivity will give you more depth, and a change in the tones, it amplifies that sound a little bit, which makes it a little bit better as well. Hope that helps, and see you when I bring the next one out. I say tomorrow I'm on a dig. If I get a chance to do some video, and I'll try. The thing is, it's going to be wet, boggy conditions, I think, but it's a Roman site, highly mineralised, really difficult conditions to detect, to be fair, but guaranteed that you're going to find a couple of Roman coins, guaranteed. But it is a difficult site to detect, and most people that try, they struggle. But the last time we was over here on that field, I can tell you now, was back in about 2012, and the year after my father died. So it was a field that we done together with a club dig. Big shout out to Mark on that one, and yeah, so it's going to bring back a lot of memories.